This is the Rest of Everest video podcast, an almost unabridged expedition experience. Episode 33, Climb On.
Hey,
Well, hello again, everyone. Welcome back to the Rest of Everest video podcast. I'm John Miller, joined by Ben Clark this week. How you doing, Ben?
Good. What's up, John?
Now, I want to remind everyone that if you're just joining this podcast, it does occur in chronological order. So you really do want to go back to episode 0 and work your way forward, and you really will get a lot more out of it. This is the entire expedition, and it really would be best to follow it along as things unfolded. I think you'll really enjoy it that way. So that being said, we're gonna head back to base camp, and we're gonna get ready for Ben to head up to advanced base camp for his first summit push. So it really is a good turning point in the whole experience. And
good time.
And little butterflies in the stomach in this episode for me. So let's head back up to base camp. Here we go.
That cold tent with a layer of frost on it.
Yep. There's Boca and his lavender pants in the background there. I love those pants. So right here in front, this is Pimba, and he's serving breakfast. And let's see, what's for breakfast this morning? It looks like potatoes.
Kale.
A big
potatoes.
biscuit thing.
Yeah, well, cornbread, I think. Kind of cornbread.
And that's either hot sauce or ketchup. That's probably ketchup.
That's hot sauce right there, I think. Let's see. Now, the hot sauce was the thing in the left screen there.
Yeah, there.
Like Mountain Man hot sauce or whatever that stuff's called, yeah.
That was good stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So this was a big morning. This is, the windstorm was over. We had discovered that all of our equipment up higher on the mountain was still intact. It was beaten, but it was still there, which meant that the climb could continue. So this was the culmination of... You were what?
Thirsty. You see me slam that cup full of water.
Yeah, it was probably Kool-Aid or something. But anyway, so here's Ben getting ready to depart for advanced base camp, which is about 5 or 6 hours walk at this point. And the one thing about being up high, Ben, as I'm sure you'll remember, is you can get fried by the sun.
All the time. If anybody wants to donate to my skin cancer fund, now is the time. Send it in.
This Ben, actually, this footage right here chokes me up a little bit. Those are two of our friends. One of them is Richard Dugan from the Northern Ireland team, and his teammate David Sharp.
Yeah, I miss Dave. He's a good dude.
John, I'm staying down for a few more days because of my throat. So I'll see you later.
Okay, sounds good. I'll be here.
As some of you might know, Dave, he didn't make it back down last season, spring 2006. A big controversy about his death, and it's causing a lot of climbers to look at the morality of climbing. And Dave was a good friend of ours. We miss him a lot.
Yeah, spent a lot of time with him. His family overseas this. He was a great individual and a very stoic climber. Got a lot of respect for his ambition. Wish he'd come back. My sunscreen's broken. Man, I gotta keep this for like another 20 days.
I love how these Sherpas were just hanging out. They were totally chilling before heading back up. They were excited to go back up. There's Dawachiri. again, likes to fiddle with all my equipment, which I was happy to let him. There's the rat's nest of my headphones, which I'm surprised I wasn't wearing. He was a really nice guy. So one of the things that always struck me about this morning was, at least for me, there was some nervousness in the air because, quite honestly, Ben, there was no guarantee that you were going to be coming back down that mountain.
Nope.
Was that going through your head here?
I was just thinking about the weather. It's like, man, I mean, you know, if something moved in up high, what would we do? How would we fare after that windstorm if, you know, it sat down for 5 or 6 days and tore things apart? Because you can't move. And that may not be as big an issue at 23 or 26, but at 27,200 feet, I was thinking that might be a big deal. But as you'll find in later episodes, we did in fact encounter some weather. I was also thinking about how heavy that pack was. I'm not going to state the brand name of that pack, but it was an 8-pound pack unloaded. I've since switched to Osprey backpacks, which makes the greatest backpack on the planet.
Cha-ching.
And my back thanks me. Like, man, what I didn't know then that I know now.
Look at these guys joking around. Look at Bolka right there in the front.
You don't like the wood material? Yeah. It's weird.
They were making fun of Alan.
You're always talking about the material. It's tense.
It's not necessary to...
Metal is okay. Go. No metal.
These guys are cool. They're fun.
In the middle there is Andre, and Andre's climb was pretty much over. I forget at this point whether he went back up to ABC. I know he did return to ABC for a while, but he had
already come back.
He had badly frostbitten hands, and so he just kind of hung out. You were going into the snack stash there, getting some...
You know that. I didn't know how long I was going to be up there.
What were you grabbing there? What were those? Were those some kind of chocolate rice things?
Thank you.
Yeah, that and probably gummy bears.
Gummy bears.
It's okay. It's okay.
Sugar.
Thank you.
And that was Dawa right there asking you if you wanted something to eat. Dawa was always pushing the food.
If you're missing anything, I'll run it up to you.
Yeah, if you would please. Maybe after 5 o'clock today would be good for me. Well, it's not so bad. If my stomach will stay tame today, it'll be alright. Oh, nothing's quite like a upset stomach with a giant strap pulled right across the front of it.
Of course.
That much is true.
Alright.
This was one of the most meaningful moments of the expedition for me. We set up this shot, had Ben walk out, and he's really walking up. We didn't stage that. I just told him when to leave the tent so I could get the shot. And he goes off down the moraine here, and I'm standing there filming, and suddenly I shut the camera off because I realized that I might never see Ben again. And that's very difficult for me to relate to people, that here's this good friend of mine that I quite honestly may never see again. And so I remember, Ben, I shut the camera off and I ran over as fast as I could and I gave you a big hug.
Huh? And now I've had moments like that where you don't see him again.
Yeah, it's true.
Don't think about that when you're 23.
But this was the scene up at Advanced Base Camp. You could tell that the tents had definitely seen some foul weather.
Yeah, this is all. So when I got up there, I started shooting this stuff and thinking, man, it's just debris everywhere. Like, that was the scene. Mostly just stuff ripped apart, torn apart by the winds and people's garbage. That's our tent. Hopefully not going anywhere. Certainly tied as if it wasn't going anywhere.
Now, Lakba Nuru, one of the summit team climbers, he actually stayed up at Advanced Base Camp the entire time. And I remember asking Dawa, our cook, why Lakba stayed up there. I figured, you need someone to kind of watch over the gear. And that might be true, and that's probably the case, but Dawa was like, oh, no, he lazy.
Yeah.
He said that Lakba was too lazy to walk back down to base camp.
Like, he's too ridiculously, he's probably too much air down there.
Yeah, too lazy to return to the oasis of 17,000 foot base camp from 21,000 foot advanced base camp. I thought that was so funny. Dawa said it to me with a smile. Are those some of our tents right there?
No, I believe that was maybe some Japanese tents.
Not much left to do at some point then, just to make sure they don't blow away.
Mm-hmm.
The sound of ruffling nylon was pretty common on this expedition. And this stuff I want to say is all filmed by Ben. I did not return up to Advanced Base Camp after my first visit. And walking into the shot there, right out of the shot, that's Alan. So Alan must have gone up with you guys.
Oh, hello. I am coming to see a fine shot.
This guy smiles.
It's just sitting there taking it all in. At this point, we'd been gone about, nearly a month and a half.
Yeah, a long time.
I think pretty much everyone kind of returned to Advanced Base Camp right after that storm. Everyone was itching to go.
So let's see what we had left.
Yeah.
And which were not very positive. We're very encouraging that there's much left. A lot of people's gear had been flown off that ridge, and then whatever they had in these tents been destroyed. I mean, it looked like an absolute zoo up there of just stuff everywhere. Everybody guying their tents out and tying them down.
That looks like the Royal Navy camp right there.
Yeah.
And also there were word that there was going to be some kind of weather window opening up. Hymex, the expedition that's always led by Russell Bryce. They always got pretty accurate. Yeah, they always got pretty accurate weather forecasts, and so a lot of teams will go up without any information, and they just sort of shadow Russell Bryce.
Or intuition.
Say that again?
I said intuition.
Yeah.
Or intuition.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've got to have a little intuition for Everest. I think that, now that there's so much hyperbole surrounding it, still, you can't tell anyone how to climb it. You can't tell anyone what they should or shouldn't think. But for me personally, I really feel like the whole point of coming back up there after this windstorm and then after that not being intimidated and going and climbing it was that all along I still gave it respect as if it were a mountain and not just this beacon of fame and attraction, that it was more or less snow, rock, and ice that somehow, had a soul of some sort, but was an itchy little peak that didn't want you on it. And, you know, you definitely would see a difference in style between the way that we were going about it versus some of the larger trips, and that we weren't letting anyone dictate to us when we were going to go or how much fun we were going to get to have.
Thanks so much, Ben.
Thank you, John. Y'all have a great night.
All right, and we'll see all of you next week. The Rest of Everest is downloaded all over the world every week. If you enjoy watching and would like to show your support, then take a look at my website. Aside from having lots of additional blog entries from the expedition updated every week, there's this little donation button on every page. Now, many of you have pressed that button, and your generous contributions are helping to cover my hosting fees. If you haven't donated but would like to, then just contribute any amount. In return, I'll give you access to the video and audio dispatches I sent out while we were actually at Everest. It's pretty interesting stuff. Contribute $25 or more, and I'll even throw in an iPod-compatible version of the film Everest: The Other Side. That's the project the entire podcast here is based on. As always, our announcer is Marlon May, and our music is provided by Wendy Wu. Check her out at wendywoo.com. Thanks so much, everyone, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you for watching The Rest of Everest. For more information on the expedition, please visit therestofeverest.com.
Surprise.